Welcome back everyone to another tutorial. Today I want to show you how you can manage your scenes and move your player between the first and the second scene. And also in the second scene you can pick up an upgrade and take this then back to the first scene, and your player will retain this upgrade and then have access to, for example, this wall jump, and also enter then different exits in the first scene which are connected also to the second scene, but on, of course, a different level. So the exit before was here, and I will show you how to do that. By the end of this tutorial, you will know how to set up your scenes in the build manager. You will enable your player to move back and forth between the scenes, have multiple exits and entrances in different scenes which are connected to each other, and don't destroy any objects on scene change, so you can keep upgrades active and picking them up between scenes, and by that further enhancing your Metroidvania game. So let's get right into it. So we're back in the scene from last time, and the first thing we want to do is, let's say, make some level design. So to add one level and to update this level 1. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to scenes, sample scene. I'm going to change this one to, let's say, level 1. And then just reload it. That's fine. And what we want to do perhaps is put one of the upgrades in the next level or the next scene. But first of all, let's just go in the grid and update this, create this level the way you want, and I'll just fast forward that process. All right, that's fine for level 1, I think. And what we want to add in here, of course, is some exits. And let's call this exit 1. Of course, we can also make this a little bit nicer, but let's have it like this. And let's duplicate this one and call it exit 2. And let's make sure that it actually looks nice. All right, that kind of looks okay. And the idea is now, of course, to connect these two exits to the next scene, which we still have to create. Before we do that, let's add here a box collider. Box collider 2D. Yeah, I like that is fine. Is a trigger, and the same for this one. Box collider 2D is a trigger. Of course, what we can do is put the shape really on top of that. Otherwise, you might trigger it beforehand. And what we also want is, let's say, make sure that the transforms are right and the z-axis is okay. Let's create an empty, and as always, and let's call this entrance 1. And let's make sure to reset the transforms. Where is it? There. And you have to consider now this entrance 1 should be the position where the player spawns once it enters the scene. So it shouldn't be on top of the exit, because then you will just warp between the different scenes. So let's put a little bit here. And I'm just going to duplicate this one, drag it up here. Let's put it somewhere like this. And let's call this entrance 2 in accordance with, let's say, the entrance 1. I'm just going to remove the space there. Don't think it will have any impact, but let's have it consistent. And perhaps what we want to do is move this double jump upgrade somewhere here. And of course, we have to put the sprite renderer on the player. There we go. That is somewhere here. That would be cool. And of course, what we could do is remove some of those platforms to have a little bit of level design there. Let's add there a platform. something like this. Until you get the double jump, something like that. Good, now the wall jump upgrade, perhaps we can put it in the next scene, just leave it here for now. What I'm gonna do is just easily go to the scenes and copy this scene. And I'll explain you in a second why. So I'm just gonna press here and press Ctrl G, and there you have level 2. If you go now to level 2, it's exactly the same as level 1, only here it changed. But what you should do here is then, of course, in level 2, first of all, I'm going to remove the player here. It's going to remove the double jump upgrade. And my idea would be just to build, like say somewhere here, to continue building the next scene. Of course, you can delete everything. It's all fine, but it's always good to have some reference or some copy-paste grids. You can easily make your level. So first thing, what I'm going to do is, let's say, flip both these exits. I'm going to move them here, somewhere here. And also for the entrances, 1 and 2, also going to move them somewhere there. And now, of course, let's clean up the grid. And I'm just going to fast forward this process shortly. All right, that looks quite all right. And let's have then perhaps the upgrade. There are a couple of upgrades, right? Wall jump upgrade. Let's put that one here. And let's make sure, of course, to put it in front of the player or put it on the ground player. So we can find it here. That's very good. And of course, the entrance should be somewhere like here. So this is the exit 1 again, and entrance 1, entrance 2 is maybe here, and exit 2 is there. That's fine. That looks good. Great. So now we have 2 scenes set up. Of course, you can clean this up at this side. If we go to level 1, of course, we save here level 2. And then here is level 1. What we're going to do here is remove the wall jump upgrade because it's in, let's say, scene 2. And of course, the player is now here, but let's just leave it there. So for testing purposes. All right, and now it's time to make some new scripts. And the first thing we want to do is ensure that when the player moves between scenes, that the player is not destroyed. And in a linear game where you just have one level after the next, you would have a player in each scene. But what we want to do is here we only have one player which can move between the scenes and keep existing. So what we're going to make is create, let's say, a script. Create a C# script, please. Yeah. Player manager. And let's start out with this scene. And what we're going to start off with is move this down, and we're going to say a public static player manager, and we call this instance. Yeah. It will check, especially in the first level, if instance is more than null. It's not null because at the beginning it will be, let's say, the first instance. Then we're going to destroy, oops. Game object. Else instance is this. And what we want is don't destroy on load game object. And we can remove this. So that's the first script. And this goes on the player.
So if you're player manager, there we go. And in prefabs, let's put here the player. So the player is now a prefab. And now it can check if this is the first instance or not. And we will see in a second. What we also want to do is go to build settings and add the second scene as well, so we can interact with those. So the player should now not be destroyed anymore, and the moment I come to level 1, it should remove the initial player which is there. Now what I also want to do is do the same for the camera, so I'm just going to make a, let's say, camera controller, and in the camera controller I'm just going to do the same, where we say public static camera controller instant, right, void start if in, so pretty much the same as we did before. Null destroy game object, else instance is this. And here again we have don't destroy unload game object, and we remove this, we don't need that. So now we also have a camera controller, and we're just going to drag it on here. There we go. And now we will make 2 C# scripts for the exit and the entrance, and let's call this exit scene. All right, and let's create also entrance scene. There we go. And let's start with the exit scene. What's important is that we are using Unity engine dot scene management. Remove all this, and we want to have a public string, which is called scene to load. We also want a public string which is called exit name. We want a private void on trigger enter 2D, collision 2D, collision, that's fine, and we had the collision earlier. And what we want to do now is player prefs set string, and we're gonna call this last exit name is exit name, which is defined there, and then scene manager load scene to load. That concludes this script, and let's now go to the entrance scene script. This time let's just remove the file update, and let's add here a public string again and call it the last exit name. Then in the void start we're going to do if player prefs dot get string, and let's put here last exit name. Sorry, here is last exit name. Then player manager dot instance dot transform dot position is transform dot position. And what this does is once the player enters the exit, which has a certain exit name, it combines it within the next scene, the entrance, and then puts the position of the player at that entrance point. And the only thing which we need to do now is add the right scripts to these different items. So here we have exit 1, and we're going to add exit scene to load, level 2. And the exit name is perhaps level 1, exit 1. Yeah. And if you go to entrance 1 and then put here, let's say the entrance scene, last exit name is then probably level 2 exit 1, which is in the next scene. If I go to exit 2, I go to exit scene. This is scene to load. It's also level 2 again, but the exit name is level 1 exit 2. If you go to entrance 2, which is here, and put the entrance scene, this is last exit name is then level 2 exit 2, because it's coming from the other side. I know it's kind of confusing, but we will see how it works in a second. Now let's go to the second scene, and this is the only area we have here, and we have exit 1, and we go again to the scripts, and the exit 1 is again an exit scene because we can go there. Level to load is level 1, exit name is level 2 exit 1, and perhaps you can see now the pattern. This level 2 exit 1 is what we had if you go to the first scene, and then we go to entrance 1 is level 2 exit 1. So there they are combined, okay? Right, so here, and then entrance 1 is here. Let's go to the scripts again. Let's add the entrance scene. Last exit name, that was level 1 exit 1, because it's combined with the level 1 exit 1. And let's go here to the exit 2. Let's add the exit 3. Scene to load is of course level 1. The exit name is level 2 exit 2. Right. But the entrance number 2 is this is then level 1 exit 2. So now we have a script on all of these points, and also in scene 1. So if we go to entrance 2, we say level 2 exit 2. For level 2 we go here, exit 2. This is level 2 exit 2. So they are combined. Right. Let's go to level 1. So now we have all the scripts. Now let's make a quick cross check. There are still cameras in scene 2. Let's remove those cameras. So now we have the camera also deleted in level 2. And if we are now testing this, and we go in here into the game, and currently I cannot wall jump, of course, but I'm going to go in here, and as you can see, it put the player right into this exit. But of course the point is to test different exits. So let me get my upgrade. Now I can climb up the wall, and let's try to go into this exit, and now I'm at the upper side. And if I go down here, I can get out of this entrance exit, and of course also go now up here and get out at the other side. Now as you can see, the camera is shifting to the position where it's what you can do, of course, is kind of fade the screen in and out black shortly, and then you have a more smoother transition, because of course it goes pretty fast. But that's something you can work on. Here you have now the second upgrade. Now we can double jump, and as you can see, we can move in between scenes. One thing which is now currently still open is that of course the upgrades also respawn. And now I want to see in the comments how you think you can solve that, and I'll give you a hint. You will also need to put some player prefs, put let's say a number. Once you pick up the upgrade, change the number, and then make sure that if the number is not the right number, or as let's say once you picked up the upgrade, that it won't spawn again the second time you enter this scene. Great. So there you go. This is a simple, let's say, scene management system in which you can add multiple entrances. Of course, you can add 5 more entrances in each direction, however you like, and play around with that. Great. I hope this was useful to you, and I'll see you all in the next video where we will explore a little more mechanics, add some more abilities, perhaps add an enemy, add some shooting, and start to polish the game further. If you liked the video, feel free to subscribe. If you have any questions, just join the Discord channel below. See you all in the next one. Cheers!